Glimpses of the Past, Part 1. A Baker from Goa by Lucio Rodriguez. Class 10, Lesson 7 in their subject English, prepared and presented by VGR. A Baker from Goa. About the author, Lucio Rodriguez was born on 1916 to 1973, was a great Konkani essayist. He wrote several articles in English and Konkani to various periodicals and magazines. He served as a visiting professor of folklore at many universities and at Indian University in 1969, also as a professor of English in Mumbai and Goa. Rodriguez's essays in English and the English translations of his Konkani essays were posthumously published under the titles Of Soil and Soul and Konkani Folktales. A touch of humor and informal narrations are well-known features of his style. Here you can able to see the picture of Professor Lucio Rodriguez. About the author, here also, he is a prolific essayist. He contributed to various newspapers and magazines such as the Navahind Times, the Times of India, Goa Today, and others too. Already we know that his essays in English as well as those translated from Konkani were published as of Soil and Soul and Konkani Folktales after his death in 1973, and it was a revised edition of this compilation renamed Embolim, which was released at the commemoration of his exceptional son of Goa's birth centenary, means 15th April 2015, at the Xavier Center of Historical Research, Poverium. Here is a Goa and its map. Here you can able to see the picture of India, and the Goa place is enlarged here. Goa situated in the Karnataka, in between Karnataka, that is below Maharashtra. You can also find a different type of maps available here. This is a route map of Goa. The people, those who are reaching Goa for the first time, they can use this route map and enjoy the tourist place. And here also you can have the picture district wise and state wise I have given. It is divided into North Goa and South Goa, and the capital of Goa is Panjim or Panaji, and you can able to see the airport of Goa too. And this Goa is also have some history. Some people call Go in the as a cow herd. This is a place where in Mahabharata, in old Sanskrit Puranas, we have given the meaning. Goa means Go means cow herds. It used to keep cow herds a lot here. And in the history of Portuguese, if you're able to see, they call it as Goy, Cogoy, means non-Jewish area. That means the non-Jewish area. People were came and settled here. So they call this as Goy, Goy, means non-Jewish area. So these are the stories related to Goa. Even some of the people call this area as a long grass area. They compare the coconut tree in the form of a grass and they call it as long grass area. Okay, so these are some names given for Goa, which is considered to be a tourist destination. Why they have introduced this lesson for you? To enrich, to motivate the tourist places in India and to enrich the finance of our India. Already know that Goa means a long grass is another example given by the people. I already told you it is divided into North Goa and South Goa, and Panaji is the capital, and it is also considered to be the old Goa. And we have some history about this. Actually, Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese sailor who reached at 1498, He was the first European who went to India through the Cape of Good Hope around Africa. So Portuguese invaded India in 1510. Their rule lasted for about 450 years and heavily influenced Goan culture, cuisine, and architecture. So India got freedom on 1947, but in 1961, the Indian Army invaded and annexed Goa, and in 1987, Goa was granted statehood, and their sole official language is Konkani. So other meaning for Goa is a long grass, which they able to see the coconut tree in the form of a long type of grass material. So another name is also given for the word Goa as a grass, long grass. Now we are entering into the chapter Glimpses of India. Actually, this lesson consists of three parts, and the first part is a baker from Goa. So the first part is a pen portrait of a traditional Goan village baker or padder who still has an important place in Goan culture, although the Portuguese have left India long back. So here pen portrait means an informal description of a person or group of people. So here you can able to see the picture of a beach of Goa. Now we are entering into the lesson, page number 85. Our elders are often heard reminiscing nostalgically about those good old Portuguese days, the Portuguese and the famous loaves of bread. Those eaters of loaves might have vanished, but the makers are still there. So we still have amongst us the mixers, the molders, and those who bake the loaves. Those age-old, time-tested furnaces still exist. The fire in the furnaces has not yet been extinguished. The thud and jingle of the tradition baker's bamboo hurling his arrival in the morning can still be heard in some places. Maybe the father is not alive, but the son still carries on the family profession. So these bakers are even today known as pada in Goa. That means in this topic, it is describing like that in old time when the Portuguese were in Goa, the people of Goa loved to eat loaves of bread. Now these loaves have disappeared, but their makers are still there. These bakers can be recognized by the sound of the tradition baker's bamboo. So this business is still carried on by them. They are known as by the name of Pada in Goa. Here you can able to see the loaves of bread. Loaves is a plural form of loaf. Okay. Here also you can able to see the Bangalore type bread and the pita bread. So from that passage we have got a new word. Reminiscing means remembering. Nostalgically means thinking fondly of the past. Otherwise, to become sentimental by remembering the past. Loaves means piece of bread. Vanished means to end. Here died. Molders means a person, one who molds the bread. Furnaces means hearth. Here you can able to see the picture of the mold. They are molding the bread. They are giving a shape to the dough. And here you can able to see the hearth, furnace. Okay, to bake the bread, molded bread in the furnace. Extinguished means put off. And thud means sound of dropping. Jingle means a sound, and traditional means conventional. Hurling means announcing. Profession means occupation, and pada is a word from Portuguese language which means baker. Pada means baker in Portuguese language. So from the first passage, what we come to know that this is a pen portrait of the traditional Goan village baker who is still remembered by Goans. Bread making started from the Portuguese days. They were the lovers of bread. Bread making was an art which needed perfection. Mixing, molding, and baking were the areas of specialization of making a bread. The loaves were baked in time-tested furnaces. This profession has been continued by the baker's descendants. So here you can able to see the furnace. It is a time-tested furnaces, very old furnaces. Still it is in extinguished. It is not extinguished. Still it is working condition. The people, those who made the bread at those times were not there, but their sons, their generation is doing the same job. They are carrying the profession now. Here you can able to see the picture of the baker who is using the furnace and using the molded form of dough to a bread form. Okay, here the baked bread you can able to see from after getting out from the furnace. Page number 86. During our childhood in Goa, the baker used to be our friend, companion, and guide. He used to come at least twice a day. Once when he set out in the morning on his selling round, and then again when he returned after emptying his huge basket. The jingling thud of his bamboo woke us up from sleep, and we ran to meet and greet him. Why was it so? Was it for the love of the loaf? Not at all. The loaves were bought by some Pascain or Bastin, the maidservant of the house. What we longed for were those bread bangles, which we chose carefully. Sometimes it was sweet bread of special make. So here huge means very big, loaf means a unit of baked bread. So from this paragraph, what we come to know, a baker was the author's friend. He used to come to his house twice a day. He and the other family members identify him by the sound of his bamboo's sound, the stick sound, and the author liked to take bread bangles, but the maid servant used to buy the loaves for their home. So they are making the name Paskin and Bastin for the maid servant who bought the bread from the pada. Here you can able to see the bread bangles. Here also you can able to see the bread bangles having a hole at the center. Here you can able to see the bread bangle, how they have arranged the breads in the basket. The padder one who sells the bread in the street. Nowadays they used to keep the basket in the bicycle, but in the olden days they used to keep it on their head. Here the author's childhood days is recalled. The writer remembers his childhood days when the baker used to be their friend, companion, and guide. He used to visit twice a day, once in the morning during his selling hours, and then again while returning after selling all his bread. The jingling third means the sound of the bamboo he carried woke them up in the morning, and they ran to meet and greet him. They ran for getting the bread bangles, which were especially made sweet bread. Here you can able to see the picture of the bread bangles. It looked like a bangle, isn't it? So they call this bread as bread bangles. Page 86. The baker made his musical entry on the scene with the jung jung sound of his specially made bamboo staff. One hand supported the basket on his head and the other banged the bamboo on the ground. He would greet the lady of the house with good morning, then place his basket on the vertical bamboo. We kids would be pushed aside with a mild rebuke, and the loaves would be delivered to the servant. But we would not give up. We would climb a bench or the parapet and peep into the basket somehow. I can still recall the typical fragrance of those loaves. Loaves for the elders and bangles for the children. Then we did not even care to brush our teeth or wash our mouths properly. And why should we? Who would take the trouble of plucking the mango leaf for the toothbrush? And why was it necessary at all? The tiger never brushed his teeth. Hot tea could wash and clean up everything so nicely, after all. So, in this passage, staff means stick, rebuke means scolding or disapproval or to take to taste, fragrance means scent or good smell, and typical means special, parapet means railing, and peep means to look into something. Here you can able to see the picture of the padder who is keeping the basket on the bamboo staff and selling his bread. Here also you can able to see the picture that the style of the baker arrival was unique. He came with the jung jung sound of the bamboo and he is supporting his basket with one hand and the other banged the bamboo stick on the ground with the other one. So the young children would look into his basket climbing on the railing or on the benches and they peep into the basket and they're comparing the fragrance of the bread. It's still the writer able to remember the fragrance of the loaves and he's comparing his problematic of brushing his teeth with the tiger never brushed his teeth and why we should, and he's also telling that the hot tea would wash up and clean up the everything inside the stomach nicely. So from this paragraph what we have learned is delivering the loaves, how the padder or the baker deliver his breads. As the baker came, he would call out the lady of the house and wish her good morning. And the children would be pushed aside and the loaves would be delivered to the maid servant. The author recalls the aroma of loaves that filled the air. The children would not even brush their teeth and ate bangles made of bread with the tea. So here you can able to see the picture of the padders. Nowadays they are used to keep their basket in the bicycle and selling their breads. Here also you can able to see the padder. Here you can able to see the picture of a bread bangles which was loved by the children and the aroma of the bread is really very nice, very attractive. It invites the children to eat it fast without brushing. So in Konkan. Konkan means it literally translates to bangle. It means bangle in Konkani language. It is a distinctive ring-shaped bread and that is popular all over Goa. So the name given Konkan. Konkan means bangle in Konkani language. Now we are entering into the page number 87, next paragraph. Marriage gifts are meaningless without the sweet bread known as the bowl, just as a party or a feast loses its charm without bread. Not enough can be said to show how important a baker can be for a village. The lady of the house must prepare sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement. Cakes and bolinhas are a must for Christmas as well as other festivals. Thus, the presence of the baker's furnace in the village is absolutely essential. Here, feast means good food. Occasion means occasion means event, and essential means important. So here you can able to see the picture of Goan Bolinhas, and here also the small Bolinhas, and here also Goan Bolinhas, the colored Bolinhas here, and here you can able to see the picture of the uh, food items present in the Christmas time or the marriage table. You can able to see these kind of food items, especially the bread and cake and bolinhas are needed, important. It takes an important position in the cuisine area. So from this paragraph, what we have learned is the importance of bread in traditional ceremonies. Okay, the various kind of bread were very important for all occasions. No marriage was complete until and unless the tradition bowl was served. The lady of the house prepared sandwiches on the occasion of her daughter's engagement, and bolinhas would be prepared for Christmas and other festivals. So here in this passage, all the important occasions were incomplete with the bakers and they had a separate and unique place for all occasions. Even marriages were not held without bakers, especially with the bread bowl. Okay, the people loved to eat that bolin has at the time of festivals. Here you can able to see how at the time of marriage feast, how they have displayed the food for them. And here the Goan bolin has. Bolinas is the other pronunciation for that bread. Now page number 87. The baker or bread seller of those days had a peculiar dress known as the kabai. It was a single piece long frock reaching down to the knees. In our childhood, we saw bakers wearing a shirt and trousers which were shorter than full length ones and longer than half pants. Even today, anyone who wears a half pant which reaches just below the knees invites the comment that he is dressed like a pada. So here peculiar means particular. Here the word peculiar appears, it means particular. And here single piece. Yes, single piece means undivided part. Okay, you don't have any partition in between like a shirt and pant. It is from the top to the bottom. You have a single piece of frock like thing. Okay, here you can able to see the picture. A single piece, they have used a single piece. Okay, kabai. Kabai is the word used for this dress. Kabai. And invites means here attracts. In this passage, ni invites here means attracts, and comments means the remarks. It attracts the people, comment, remarks for the dress, and they call them as pada. Here you can be able to see the shirt and the pant, how they used to wear the pant, or how they have rolled their pants in the form of trousers. So this is a dress code of the people of pada. So the bakers here have a unique dress code and different dress code. By using a single piece of long frock, they call it as kabai. It reached down to the knees, and it was similar to a half pant of today. His dress code made him a very different personality. So this is the thing you have get some idea from this passage. The meaning of this passage is the baker's dress here. The baker's was usually dressed in a kabai. You can able to see the picture of kabai for a man and for a lady, how they used to wear the kabai. A long frock reaching down to the knees, or a shirt and a trouser which were shorter than full length ones and longer than half pants. Even today, if anyone dares to go out in the streets wearing half pants, he is referred to as pada, means baker in Portuguese language. So you can able to see the picture of a kabai for a lady, and kabai dress for the gents. You can able to see the picture how they have carried the basket in their head, and the third jingling sound produced by the bamboo staff. Now we are entering into the page number 87. The bakers usually collected his bills at the end of the month. Monthly accounts used to be recorded on some wall in pencil. Baking was indeed a profitable profession in the old days. The baker and his family never starved. He, his family, and his servants always looked happy and prosperous. Their plump physique was an open testimony to this. Even today, any person with a jackfruit-like physical appearance is easily compared to a baker. So in this passage, indeed means in fact, profitable means gainful, and prosperous means marked success, yeah, being well off. And open testimony here means a proof or a public statement about a character or a quality. You call it as open testimony, a proof. Okay. And jackfruit here means fat and healthy. The physique structure is compared to the jackfruit here. Here you can able to see the pictures of the breads of different varieties. Pita bread, bangle bread, and normal pav. The different variety of breads are displayed here. And here you can able to see the picture of the jackfruit, which the fat and healthy structure is compared to the physical appearance of the baker, who is feeling very happy and leading a prosperous life. So here how the baker is having a happy life is described in this passage, and the baker's business actually was a profitable profession at those days, and they collected their amount at the end of the month, and their earnings were good to fulfill their family responsibilities. So this idea we are getting from this passage, and the points here we can get from the passages are like bread making a profitable profession. So the baker usually collected his bills at the end of the month. All the accounts were written on some wall in the premises with a pencil. It was a profitable profession during those days because Portuguese were lovers of fresh baked loaves. The baker of his family members and his servants looked prosperous and happy. They led a really happy life. So here you can able to see the picture of the jackfruit in the tree and the loaves of bread that prepared in the pada, a baker in his bakery. Now we are entering into the theme or central idea of this lesson. In the story, the writer is describing the bakers of Goa. His description is based on his childhood memories. He reminds a baker of Goa who used to prepare bread for them. These bakers were expert in their breads profession. The children were fond of their breads. The different type of bread prepared by the bakers were liked by different age groups. For example, the elders liked bread, while the younger liked the bangle breads. The arrival of the baker was marked by a third sound of their bamboo sticks. The children would climb on the railing or on the bench to peep into the basket of the baker, and the aroma they feel, even the writer able to remember the aroma of the bangle bread still today at the time of writing. The story is about the importance of the bakers in marriages and festivals too. At that time, bakers used to be very rich and lead a happy life, and their physical fitness were compared to a jackfruit till date. Here you can able to see the picture of a hearth and the baker who is going to bake a bread. Here you can able to see the picture of the Goa beach, and here is the bangle bread which was loved by the children at Goa at those days. Even today also people used to eat the bread, especially the bangle bread in Goa. Now we are entering into the summary of the lesson. A baker from Goa. The Portuguese in Goa were lovers of bread. The bakers of Goa are known as padders. They had a very important position in the Goa area, especially in that district. They still carry on their business, and those eaters of bread have now gone, but its makers still exist, means they are still, their sons are carrying their profession. Okay, so during the childhood days of the narrator, a baker used to be their friend and companion and guide. Here you can able to see the picture of a Goan food with a cup of tea as a morning breakfast. Next point is their arrival was identified by the jung jung sound of their bamboo. The bakers came twice a day, once in the morning and again while returning home after finishing his selling. Then jingling thud of a baker's bamboo woke up the sleeping children. The loaves were delivered to the servants of the house. He supported his basket with one hand on his head and took bamboo staff with the other hand. The children would peep into the baker's basket for the bread bangles. Here you can able to see the picture of a pita bread, which is also considered to be a Goan food. And the next point is the children would eat bread with hot tea without doing the brush. They used to eat the bread with the hot tea. And the marriages were incomplete without the popular bowl bread. Here you can able to see the Bolinhas bowl bread. Bolinhas was a must during Christmas and all other festivals. So the bakers wore a particular knee-length frock known as kabai. Baking was a profitable profession. Bakers had a plump physique testifying to this. And the bakers collected the bills at the end of the month. So here you can able to see the picture of Goan Bolinhas, which is a must for the Christmas time. So Thank you. I hope you understand this lesson very much. Here I have shown you some pictures of the Goa and beach. If you get the time, please visit the Goa and make the place a wonderful tourist destination in India. And you also visit that place and enjoy Goa. I hope you like this video. If you like, please give me a like and subscribe. Thank you.